So I wanted to quickly share my first 3 months of experience in the SMMA space as a complete beginner who doesn't know anything and like you has watched countless of online YouTubers talking about SMMA and just getting the notion that it's actually possible to make money online and to feed yourself, right? And not go into the rat race like every other average Joe, because probably for you and for me, the notion of being somebody who's mediocre scares the living crap out of you. You're ambitious, you're young, right? You want to do something for your life. Probably watched Hamza Iman in the past, and now you're like, fuck, I want to be great. I want to do an SMMA, make money. And you probably have your first 2 clients. If not, then you've had a few sales appointments, but you're still a complete beginner and you have no idea what you're doing. Now, I just wanted to share my last 3 months of this journey with you, completely raw, unedited, unfiltered shit, so I can basically connect with people who are exactly in my headspace, right? And with my exact experience. And let me know what you think of it and if you have any improvements or suggestions to it. And perhaps I can also offer you some advice on what I've learned in the last 3 months, which does not seem like a very long time, but if you think about it, it is a long time. And what I mean by that is it's a long time in terms of how much you can change that period by just getting your existence humbled, right? I got into SMMA thinking that holy fuck, if a 17-year-old kid can make 10K easily and pull in all this type of fucking juice, right? Monetary juice, then so should I. And I'm gonna do it less than him. I'm gonna do it in 20 days. Then I started cold calling and I realized that I fucking suck at it and I'm scared of it and I don't want to do it. I bring up all the excuses in my head not to do it, right? Eventually I get over my fear of rejection and land my first booked call. And we go into a meeting. The guy seems very chill. I try to sell him on an AI chatbot / an AI WhatsApp agent for £6,000, right? £6,000 because he had a business that was doing quite well, right? I was trying to pitch him how much money it would make him if he responded to leads immediately with WhatsApp AI agents, with voice callers, right? And I assumed he was a complete idiot, that he wouldn't do his research, but I was completely wrong, right? Because obviously before he's going to pay you 6K, right, he's going to do his due diligence, and he probably found out that his technical team can do it for probably just the software costs just around like $100, right? I don't know, retail AI, all these voice agent platforms, it's not a lot of money you pay them, and it's not very difficult to set them up, right? So essentially I do some more cold outreach, decide that I need to take a different approach because cold outreach in 2025 is difficult, because you had 3 years of a lot of different high-tier marketing gurus blasting and brainwashing 17-year-olds into thinking they can make a lot of money easily. So these local business owners, right, they've gotten so many calls that they now unconsciously think you're the enemy and they need to filter you out at any cost necessary, right? Especially, I thought the med spa industry was a nice industry to tap into, despite Karsten Fox warning, right? He's one of the best, probably the best lead generation YouTuber out there. And he said, do not go into the med spa industry. It's extremely saturated because there's so many kids doing it, right? And I'm only starting to realize that like the previous 2 weeks after spending 2K on ads and closing 2 clients, which is not bad. But saturated niches, right? I go into them, I spend my money on ads, spent 2K on ads, get my 2 first clients, have a close rate maybe of, I would say, 10%. maybe like 8-9%, right? Some unqualified calls, 50% show rate, try to figure out all of that stuff. And I just realized that you need to be able to differentiate yourself, which is basic marketing knowledge, right? I'm a business student, I should know it. In the med spa industry, if you take a look at the ad library, right, there are 100 different companies offering the same things, right? Always the same offer. Pay per treated patient, pay per appointment, the same AI marketing offers, right? And there's just so little room to stand out, especially if you have established companies who've been in the business for 6-7 years, right? Or fucking killers out there. One person being Cameron England, fucking 19-year-old, 18-year-old pulling in 200K a month, right? People like that out there who've basically already saturated the niche. Because what do you think is going to happen if basically there are 4 or 5 YouTubers who have who reached millions of people's, right, with their content, and they just give away their secrets on how to run their business, and a lot of them are in the med spa niche, so people are just gonna copy the business model. In fact, I've seen some kids copying the exact ads some of these YouTubers are running, which is honestly not a bad strategy. My point being, I think the main lesson I've learned over the last 3 months is just differentiate yourself. Learn how to differentiate yourself and be very, very specific with your offer, right? If you're trying to get results for med spas, think even very, very specific. Think in terms of treatments, for instance, Botox treatments. Be as specific as you possibly can, right? For instance, if you're targeting plastic surgery clinics, go even deeper than that, because you want to target the exact pain point, right? Perhaps they're not getting enough breast augmentation patients. Go run some ads on that, right? Don't run generic ads, and be as detailed and specific as you can, because those are the people most likely to book your meeting, right? Who have that specific pain point. Another thing I've learned is that cold outreach does not work in 2025 if you do not know exactly what the pain points of the person is, right? If you do not know industry specific knowledge that most people won't tell you on the internet, probably can search it up on Reddit, it's necessary to come up with a good offer. Because I basically send out bulk emails. I've sent 20,000 emails, 10,000 cold DMs, and like I said, 2,500 cold calls, and I've booked in total 2 meetings from all of that. Perhaps that's because my own inefficiencies in cold outreach, but I feel like a lot of you can relate, because you just realize that it's almost impossible to get a client if you're not doing anything on a commission basis or on a free trial basis, because everybody, right, every local business owner has just heard this offer before and gotten disappointed. And I want you to leave with the notion that it's still possible, but there are 2 ways that I found out to be the only ways to work, right, in 2025. That's sustainable, predictable, which is having a really good offer and doing hyper niche targeted advertising, like hyper specific products or treatments that they want to get more clients in, right? I'm talking about for instance, do something like TMS therapy, Spravato, ketamine treatments for mental health clinics, things that other people don't do, right? Go blue ocean, go different markets. For instance, I've started running ads in the Indian market. I've managed to get 10 booked calls from 300 euros of ad spend, which is nuts, right? And most of them were qualified. Because I ran an instant form qualification. I basically asked them, hey, do you have this amount of money to spend on ads? If not, please leave this page immediately. Called them within 5 minutes and make sure to book them into a meeting. So what I've realized is if you have some money to spend on ads, go do instant forms, plus hyper targeted advertising to very specific treatments, right? And go target some countries that usual people don't target, like India, but that's still English speaking, obviously. So most people don't speak English in India, but because it's such a large country, a lot of people do. So that's why it works. If you don't have the money, come up with an insanely good offer, run your cold DMs and charge absolutely nothing. Take the risk out for them. Work, because it's going to be easier for you to break into this marketing agency space just by working for free and getting the experience, and then like demanding results when the business owners actually see that you can deliver, right? It's gonna take you less time to make money if you actually work for free in the beginning and then charge them later. Because the first option is like you do cold outreach for 2 months, maybe luck hits, you get 1 or 2 clients, right? Or you can get fucking 5 clients on a free trial phase, or like even 10 clients, and then do your free work in the first month and then charge them in the second month when you deliver. So you kind of sacrifice the beginning a bit for better results on like a fucking in 2 months, 3 months, right? So this is what I found out personally to have worked for me. Not sure if it's going to work for anybody else, but I think if logically, if you look at it, it's really hard to get clients because you don't have a track record and they just don't trust you, right? And they're not fucking retards. You need to treat them like actual smart people who are going to do their research, gonna find out you're just a beginner, right? You don't have any proof. Maybe your case studies, testimonials are fake. They're gonna find out, so you just perhaps come clean. So I wanted to leave you with that and share more of my journey here, because honestly, it's so much fun talking on the internet. I'm just starting to this. It's amazing.